gentlemen, Bungle, hope you're doing well and I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going over the F-5C, a premium fighter for the United States in War Thunder. Now, the F-5C is picked up as a premium pack, which nets you 15 days of premium time and 2,000 Golden Eagles. This is roughly going to cost you $60, and if it goes on sale sometimes maybe $30. Now moving down to the overview, you may be asking yourself, what is the F-5C? The F-5C is a jet fighter. And it's at the battle rating. If you take it out in arcade battles, it'll be 10.0. If you take it out in realistic and in simulator battles, you will find yourself at 10.3 battle rating. The battle rating of 10.3 for realistic battles is actually a good sweet spot. It can go and face all the way down to vehicles of 9.3, as well as sometimes it can be up tiered to 11.3 games. But mostly, since a lot of players are usually using premium aircraft around the 9.3 and 9.7 BR, you will find yourself more often than not down tiered to 9.3, 9.7 games. Now, the performance, the real question is here, how does this aircraft perform? There are a bunch of other premium aircraft for the United States right now, like the A-10 and the F-5C. So you may be wondering, which one should I get? Which one should I pick up? So one of the things I want to note too is that just the F-14A is coming into the games very, very soon, probably within the next 2 weeks, at some point, maybe even in a month from now. That you may be wondering, especially if you're a new player or you've been playing the US and you want a good grinder, is the F-5C the best option? What we're gonna do here is we're gonna talk about the F-5C. We're gonna go down my thoughts about why I feel that this aircraft is pretty much the best one you wanna use to go and grind for the F-14A. First off, the main armament of this aircraft is a 2x20mm M39A2 cannon. You have 560 rounds, and these rounds are actually very, very powerful. There's no need to worry about cannon velocity and everything like that. These rounds are very accurate, and you have to practice trigger discipline because the fire rate on this is insane. So when you're getting into dogfights, especially in turn fights and everything like that, you have to be careful when you're aiming and placing your shots because you can find yourself expending all your rounds. As a result, you're not really going to have a lot left over if you're going to get into more dogfights with other opponents. Now, one thing to note too is you get 60 countermeasures. You can use flares, you can use chaff, you can use mix. The countermeasures on it, you're going to have to practice discipline with that as well. You can't just release all of them and realize, well, you have none left. You're going to have to be very tactical when you release your countermeasures, just because if you only have 60 of them, and if you use them all up and someone aims a radar locking missile at you, you're kind of donezo. Now, one of the main things about this aircraft is that the 2x AIM-9E missiles. This is kind of a reason why this aircraft is at 10.3 and not at the higher BR, because the AIM-9Es, in my opinion, aren't as strong as, let's say, the A-10 with the AIM-9Ls, or even the AV-8A, where the AV-8A gets better missiles than the F-5C. So the 10.3 battle rating is kind of a compromise for the premium, in my opinion. Is basically the AIM-9Es are not terrible, but they're not that great either. They're very useful if an aircraft is not paying attention and flying in a straight line, or is very, very slowly maneuvering. Those are the only two times you're going to be able to get kills with the AIM-9E. It is not going to go and try to take out a MiG-21 that's doing a high G turn, or any other aircraft that's even faster than it, like an F-4C that's going supersonic. You're not going to be able to catch it. Now, one of the things to note too, for my ground realistic players, or people that want to go and ground pound with this aircraft, you have a variety of ordnances available to you with 500-pound bombs, 750-pound bombs, 2,000-pound bombs, Zuni rockets, AGGMs, and you can take it out with a 9E. But keep in mind, if you take this aircraft out and use the ground pounding loadout, your maneuverability is going to suffer a lot, and it's not going to be that good in my opinion. There are other aircraft that suit ground pounding better, like an A-10. I would use an A-10 if I'm going to go ground pound, especially in ground realistic. Now, one of the things you may be wondering is, Bungle, how does the performance of this aircraft, how does it perform? Well, it is very agile. Its climb rate is very, very good. It's very quick, very fast, really good climb rate. Acceleration isn't as fast as, let's say, a Harrier, but at the same time, kind of my strategies with playing and my success stories with playing this aircraft is really you want to go and climb as much and as far as you can. So at the start of the match, you just keep climbing, you get into a good position, because most of the players in War Thunder tend to hang around at lower altitudes, especially those that want to go and dogfight. So already you have an altitude advantage. From there, you can go and scope the battlefield for opponents that are kind of just either turn fighting or not really paying attention, and that is where you can go and get your AIM-9E kills. Pretty much players that aren't really paying attention, flying in a straight line, or are just kind of in la-la land, or they're just turn fighting and they're going very, very slow, your aim-9Es will net you at least 1 or 2 kills. And then from there, you go and descend and go into dogfighting with other opponents that are already wrapped up in turn fights or may present a good opportunity for you to get into a turn fight with. From there, I was able to get at least 1 kill per game. If not, I've had a great game, I would get 4 kills. One thing to note is with the Research Point and Silver Lion modifier, the F-5C is actually the best in class, actually one of the best, if not the best, to use to go and grind out, especially the F-14A that is coming in the game soon. So we'll move down to it, is it worth it? In my opinion, I'm going to say yes. This aircraft does take time getting used to. You have to kind of understand how the F-5C plays. Not making sharp turns, because if you do sharp turns, you're going to turn out, oh wow, you're going to lose a wing, you're going to rip your wing, and then you're kind of done. Another thing to note too is that you can't just fly in a straight line in medium range combat, because if you have aircraft above you, they'll be very easy to take you out because you're not paying attention and looking above, and then you get taken out pretty quickly. Another thing to note too is that the maneuverability on this aircraft is actually one of the best, if not the best, in my opinion, for a premium aircraft. If you're comparing to the AV-8A, the Harrier is pretty much cut and dry, where you climb, you use your missiles, and then from there, you can engage with some players, but if you get into a turn fight, you're going to lose anyway. And a lot of turn fighting, dog fighting does happen kind of in the matches. And kind of the stages of the match is how it works, especially with jets, is that typically players climb at the beginning of the match, they launch their missiles, and then as the match progresses, players start getting into dogfights and turn fights and everything like that. And a Harrier is not going to do that at all well. It will do really well at the beginning of the match, where it comes to climbing and perhaps getting 1 or 2 kills maybe with its missiles, but the F-5C excels at all stages of the match. Sure, the AIM-9Es aren't the best in class, but at the same time, I'd rather have an aircraft that's kind of a multi-role, master of none, versus a Harrier, which is kind of just a gimmick, where you just kind of climb like a missile, and then you launch your missiles, and then if you're lucky enough, you can try to get into a turn fight or dogfight with someone, but you're going to lose anyway, because that aircraft isn't meant to do that. And then from there, you rinse and repeat. F-5C, you can kind of keep engaged the whole entire match and actually be a really, really good asset to your team. But if you reach this point of the video, new viewer, possibly subscriber, well, I hope today is the day that I earn your subscription. Having your sub and mash the like button does help me with the YouTube algorithm. Return sub, returning viewer, let me know your thoughts. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.